What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and we back for some more of that Ali Land boxing talk, people. And today we talking Manny Pacquiao, fastest hands in boxing. Uh, I was just, looking through a few videos earlier on YouTube, man, and I saw a couple of posts about Manny Pacquiao working out, and, he was showing his hand speed and that he still has it, man. Manny Pacquiao, as far as speed, has never lost a step. I feel like his power really hasn't lost a step either, because I feel like it hasn't lost a step, but I think when he took a step up in weight, the power didn't, I'm not going to say it didn't carry over, because he could still hurt bigger guys, but his power, it didn't go to another level, put it that way. Like, when he went up to 147, he was still a great puncher at 135 and 140, but when he went up to 147, he's not a knockout puncher at 147. He's a combination damage puncher. Like, if he hits you with a few combinations, man, then you're in some trouble. So I feel like, I don't feel like his power has decreased. I just feel like when you step up in weight, your power, once you hit a certain weight level, your power is not going to be as dynamic as it was when you were at those lower weight classes. It never happens for anybody. Nobody goes from like middleweight to super heavyweight and they carry that power all the way up. It might carry over into heavyweight, but it's not going to carry over into super heavyweight. Or you're not going to go from lightweight to middleweight and your power is just going to be as dynamic as it was at lightweight. It just don't work like that. So I feel like Manny Pacquiao, even when you compare him to other boxers who people say have speed, who people say are fast fighters, like Lomachenko, they used to say Shane Mosley was a fast fighter, Roy Jones. I would never call Mayweather a fast fighter. Mayweather has the weirdest boxing career in the history of boxing, if you ask me. It's just not. The past 5 years hasn't really even been boxing. It's just been like money making. So I wouldn't call him a fast boxer. Who else would I throw in there? Guys like Ali. And of today, Lomachenko, everybody's going to say Lomachenko's a fast fighter. And they would probably say he's faster than Manny Pacquiao. And I would say probably at some things he might be faster than Pacquiao. But if Lomachenko was to jump up to 147, you're going to watch all his speed disappear. He's just not going to be the same fighter anymore. So when you compare him to what I call really fast fighters, like guys like Sugar Ray Leonard and, Roy Jones and the things he could do, even though there were different weight classes, just all around quick fighters, it was dynamic, some of the things Roy Jones could do with speed, as far as boom, boom, make you miss. The way that Ray Leonard could put combinations together with his speed, it was amazing to watch. Even though I never got to see it live, I watched a lot of Ray Leonard footage, but I never got to see him fight live. I watched a lot of Roy Jones fights, not so much at the end of his career, but when he was, and I didn't really like him when he was doing his most damage. I just felt like he was overly cocky when he was doing his most damage, and I feel like his cockiness kind of caught up to him. That's what everybody kind of wanted from Floyd, is for his cockiness to catch up to him, but it never happened. So, it doesn't bother me. I really don't care. It still makes me a Pacquiao fan. It's not gonna not make me a Pacquiao fan, but when you compare him to other guys that people might, the other guys that people might say are quick, it seems like Pacquiao's beating all those guys of this era. Not of last generation fighters, but of this era. I would say Pacquiao's pretty much beating everybody. And, everybody's going to go back. All the haters going to go back. I won't even call them haters. All the boxing fans who are biased toward Floyd Mayweather, put it that way, are going to go back to the fact, well, Floyd's Floyd got to be the fastest fighter because he ain't never. But Floyd's not really a fast. You can say he's fast with his defense, or he's a fast roller, or he's a fast dodger. But he's not a fast puncher. He doesn't put combinations together. He's never. He's never done anything spectacular with his footwork. He's never amazed you with his footwork. He's never done anything dynamic like we saw Vasil Lomachenko do, which is throw a punch and then end up behind the guy. That's why they started calling him the Mayweather. We never seen anything, none of these things from Floyd Mayweather. So you can say he has the best defense, but what does he actually do that makes him the best, other than he's just never been beaten? And I don't want to beat the drum over Floyd Mayweather's head because it's not a Mayweather video, but I'm just trying to figure out who are the guys of this generation who would be considered the fastest guys. And I know everybody's going to go back to Mayweather being undefeated for him being considered as the fastest guy of this generation. And I'm trying to think. There's one more name I feel like I'm forgetting when it comes to fast fighters. And I'm hoping it comes to me before the end of the video. But, God, who am I thinking of? I guess you can consider Morales a fast fighter. That was one of my favorite fighters of the day. You can consider Morales a fast fighter. You can consider Barrera a fast fighter. You can consider Marquez a quick counter puncher. You can consider, you can say, some people might throw Terrence Crawford in there and say he's a fast fighter. And I know it's some people I'm missing in this generation that people would consider really. And a lot of these guys who probably would be what I would call skill fighters, they only have one skill set. They never get mentioned. You'll never even see them because guys like that never get placed against top tier fighters because they don't want to run the risk of the top tier fighter getting beat by unknown. He's only known because he's a skill fighter, because he's really fast or he's really strong. So those guys are usually never heard of. They're local guys. We'll put it that way. They're local fighters who they might give a top tier fighter a run for his money at one specific skill set, but they'll never get mentioned because they might actually beat them because of that one specific skill set. Guys like Gambosa, I just did a video about Pacquiao's sparring partner, and guys like Gambosa, he's right now a low level name to a lot of people, but he has the boxing talent to be the next Manny Pacquiao, the next Floyd, whoever you want to compare him to. He has the boxing talent to be that. So, guys like that though, until they boom, 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 they're way up through the ranks of boxing, they just never get mentioned too much. Their names either have to be quickly built through the fan bases, or, they have to knock somebody out, essentially, just to make a name for themselves. Somebody big has to make a name. And like I said, they're never going to place you with any of these guys because technically you're probably better than them. They're just a bigger superstar. They built their name up faster than you, and they came up before you did or whatever. So, I'm trying to think. I still one more guy I feel like I'm missing when it comes to some of the quickest fighters. You would say Mike Tyson was one of the fastest fighters when it comes to heavyweights. With the way with the quickness of how he knocked out guys. In the first round, he probably has the most first round knockouts of any heavyweight. So you can say he was fast at that specific skill set, but you can't say he was the fastest overall fighter. I'll give it to Manny Pacquiao as the fastest overall fighter of this generation because it's not just combination punches. It's not just in and out movement. It's footwork. It's power. It's spontaneity. It's all that mixed up into one big Pacquiao gumbo soup. So it's interesting every time you see him fight to see what he actually going to put. And I guess I feel like that's how people feel about Vasil Lomachenko, is that they feel like his fighting style is unpredictable because of his speed. And you know, it's a lot of talk surrounding Vasil ducking Manny Pacquiao. You know, I like Vasil. I just don't think he has enough to beat Manny Pacquiao. I feel like he has enough to be the best at 140, 135, 130 through 140. And if he crosses that threshold, even at 140, I see Manny Pacquiao knocking him out. But if he crosses that threshold past 140, he's in some real trouble, man. So, I guess you would have to give the second place spot to Roy Jones. You know, he's done a lot, you know, when it comes to speed. Even though he's not in this generation of boxers, I don't see anybody else who used speed to their advantage the way Pacquiao and Roy Jones did within the past 10 to 15 years. The only other fighter, I'm thinking hard, the only other fighter I can think of to use speed in that way would be Diego Corrales and the way he used to come back in fights and the way he used to use speed to come back in a fight. And, you know, Diego's not around anymore, so, but I would give him the number 3 spot just because I would want to honor him for what he did for the sport of boxing. He did a lot for the sport of boxing, man. And you don't hear his name get brought up a lot anymore when it comes to just all-around purely talented fighters. You know, he was one of the best of his time, even though it was, I believe it's more than 10 years ago now. It's more than 10 years ago now. Even though he was of the last generation, he was from the first set of 2,000 fighters. I think he died in 2002, 2000, somewhere around there. So I would want to, you know, give him, pay homage to him, man, a little bit, you know, because he doesn't get the accolades I feel he deserves. Diego Corrales, even though he had a few losses, what he gave physically to the sport of boxing needs to be remembered and never forgotten. And I think if he got a few extra shots, if he didn't pass away, if he got a few extra shots, that he would have been remembered as, you know, top tier along with the Manny Pacquiaos and the Floyd Mayweathers of the world. There's one more I'm missing. God, what is his name? And I cannot think of this guy's name for nothing. Was it Pernell Whitaker? If that's his name, if I'm saying it right, the one who got robbed. And he was a dynamic fighter, and, you know, I don't know what happened to his career after that, really. You know, I just remember the robbery, but he was a pretty fast fighter, if I can remember. He was a pretty quick fighter. But I really do want to pay homage to Diego Corrales, man, and let that be known, man. Don't forget Diego, man. He was one of the best. But I'm gonna give it to Manny Pacquiao, the fastest hands in this era. You know, he has the fastest hands in boxing right now. He's probably the fastest all-around fighter within boxing to me at the moment. Still at 40 years of age, you know, I know everybody gonna say you don't saying it because you're a fan of him. But I mean, if you could think of a better fighter who's faster, who could take Manny Pacquiao out of that spot, please leave a comment down below. You know, I'm not a hater. I'm always willing to hear you out and boost your comment up to the top if it's a good one. So, you know, let me know down in the comments section. Always leave me a like and subscribe. You know, tell somebody about me, man, if you can. Tell a family member, friend. If you know some homeless people, man, it's cold outside. You got some fruit, some crackers, some old snacks, some old pop laying around. Take it out there and give it to them, man. You know, conversate with them. If you ain't got nothing else to talk about, just talk about boxing, man. Tell them about Ali Land Boxing Talk. We out here.